You're going to be the first person to transition from a human body to a synthetic. What makes them geniuses is the fact that they're children.
This ship finds something on a faraway moon. Monsters.
Alien. Earth. It's a good show. It's kind of weird after all the Alien movies there's a show. It's definitely a good show. It's not great. Obviously, I'm more into movies. The movies are good. There's plenty of them, including the AVP. Aliens, or Alien 3 or something. I kind of lose track of them. AVP Requiem. I don't know if their goal with this was just to kind of bring you back towards the older ones, because oh yeah, there's Alien Romulus too. Romulus is good. It's funny how that's not even that old, and this came out, and I don't know what's up with this sudden burst of Alien, but I'd rather rewatch Alien Romulus than this, to be honest. This show is like it's just, the thought of it's good, the concept, like on Earth, or you're not in the space. They've done the same thing so many times. We're not on a spaceship, we're not on an alien planet. And I don't even mind it being on Earth. I think it's cool, the conception, and the only strife I had with it was the kids. I think when anything has kids in it, and it's funny how they found a way around it, because I guess I don't know how much of that's in the trailers, but usually there's kids or there's adults. Adults are just better actors. They just know more of what they're doing. You know, kids, as good as some kids can be, they got so much work to do. This is one of those crafts that you really grow into, and it takes time. I'm not saying all kid actors are bad. I like Anakin in Star Wars. He's one of the most hated kid actors ever. That's not the point. It's like, but they found a way somehow to kind of make kids as adults. And to be honest, it's like, okay, well, you're filling in the adult thing, okay, but it's almost making it worse, because it's like, dude, if you're gonna have adults acting as kids, that's you're already kicking me when I'm down, kind of thing. But obviously, just like any show, any movie, even anything that involves monsters and getting the most screen time from them as possible, they're gonna focus way too much on the humans, like they always do. But the issue with this one is they focus so much on the kids. It's not just them, it's like you get the same old stuff, Synths and other people, and the human element is very much still in here, obviously, especially when we're talking Earth. That's almost a red flag if you think about it, because that just means, if anything, now there's just more humans. What is Earth populated with? Humans. So, I don't know, I just prefer them like stuck on a ship. It's effective, it works. They're in space, there's some alien thing trying to kill you. That's what they've been doing, and there's a reason why it is where it is now today, is because of that. At first I didn't even like Alien. Thought it was corny and tacky and cheesy, and it's like, dude, where's its eyes? It's just some thing covered in all black, which is cool in a way, but it's like, alright, it's some puppet or some mannequin, some guy in a rubber suit. The human anatomy is very much apparent, but yet it is this kind of good hybrid of like, okay, it's clearly a monster creature. But it's like with the strobing lights and the drool and the silver teeth, I didn't really get it. To be honest, I still don't get it, but I like it. And a lot of that was apparent in this pretty well. The effects are good, it's more modern. It's definitely not terrible. The only thing that held it back was kind of the immature, childish. It's just a weird mix of, you know, and hey, if you're gonna have like one kid involved in the thing, and like, cause hey, kids gotta get paid too. I don't know. But as long as you have like a good enough cast to carry that through, which is usually the case, there's always like a much more older, mature, you know, A-list star that kind of can carry them on their back and clutch, and because you know, it's different if you're watching like a Disney movie or something that's a family movie, something that's meant to really go towards that direction in the first place. But when we're talking horror or something, I don't know, it's weird. And even if like they don't kill off the kids, there's still kids involved, and at least do teenagers. Something, I don't know. It's like a small dumb thing, but it's the point is like, okay, if we're dealing with this kid stuff, we only get so much Alien. What's there left? There's just, it kind of leaves it flat. They cancel each other out, because on one hand it's like, hey, I just want to see the alien or the ship and the people, the crew. And instead you get and when you know it's all fake, you know it's all scripted, you know it's all like just a role and just a glorified play. I don't know, it's tough. And then you put yourself in that position, is like, okay, if I had to be them, dude, they'd have to pay me enough, because like, and at the end of the day, it's acting, I get it, like, oh, I gotta act like I'm, you know, 12 years old, hee hee ha ha. That's some 13 going on 30 kind of stuff. It's nothing new too, like adults, like, oh, they have the mind of a child, or they switch bodies, or whatever. It's definitely been done before, but when you're contrasting such different type of things, alien horror, blood, guts, gore, violence, kids, not kids, it's just a weird mix and balance of, you can't take it seriously. You're not really, it really takes you away from all that. And I don't know if that was their intent, was like, hey, we want to really bombasticize the alien, but we're gonna have the kids kind of, I don't know. I think the show was great on paper. I think like, hey, we got a new setting, which is like, all right, the setting's a big part of it. It's a character in of itself, but this is risky, is a ballsy move, kind of really moving away from all that. And some of that was still around, sure, especially in one part particular. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't know who any of these people were. The cast, the main girl looks so familiar. She kind of looks like a weird mix of my math teacher slash like somebody's kid that looks just like her. Like, I don't know. There's some famous actor, some lady or something. I looked her up a little bit, but I don't think I connected any dots at all, but she's got that familiar face. Like, she could totally kind of pull off being a lot of different people. She's got them big old eyes, and she's all tiny and petite and small, but her expressions, she can almost kind of be anybody, and I like that. I like her. She had that, 80s haircut. It wasn't all bad though. I mean, it definitely I didn't let the kid thing bother me too much. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna let that get in the way of everything that is good. But it was a downside, and there's always a downside. But that's what it was. But yeah, they still kept it very 80s. Well, I guess technically 70s. Retro vintage, but slightly more modern and futuristic and up to date, if that makes any sense. I mean, it always had that, but you're always in space and all. There wasn't really a lot to go off of. It obviously wasn't any sort of modern thing at all, but it always could have been like, 100 years in the future type thing with the guns and just the technology in general, but yet there's obviously these like really old computers, but that was the stuff still left around. But everything else was kind of more... I still don't really know the whole story of all this. Like, Earth is still a very livable place. I don't know where this is in the timeline. Maybe it's not canon or whatever. I don't know. Is it a prequel? I want to say it's something like that because yeah, the whole Weyland-Yutani thing. I don't know, this show just left me confused, and like it was still a good watch, like, hey, an hour-ish. They had really interesting music at the ends. But either not enough was happening, or it just left you kind of empty and like wanting more. I don't know if it was enough. Like, the quality was good, the production value, blah blah blah, the normal usual. Had a good budget. It's just when you put something like this in a show format, one thing these shows don't realize is like, dude, you can make anything into a show, and I get it, and especially how things have changed. I don't know what's worse though, having a show that doesn't really have any hooks or like cliffhangers, or like it's just not written enough. The subject matter isn't really to where it needs that kind of format. Because a lot of shows now came from movies. A lot of good big shows, familiar. And why it works so well in the movie format is because you're able to kind of have one solid piece and just do whatever it is you had to do with it. With the show, it's like they're trying to cut it up, and it's like, other than just having hour-long episodes and being weekly, all these things, it didn't really add up at all. I guess if you want to binge it, that could be another option, but even still, at the end of every episode, it wasn't like, oh my god, ooh, oh. It was just kind of like, oh, cool. And that's where TV is supposed to shine. Is like, I don't even particularly care for that stuff, but I think it kind of gets annoying when it's constantly like, okay, I get it, just drags on. Anime is another example of what does that, and half the time it's like, dude, there's not enough at stake here. There's nothing enough happening to where you have to kind of fade to black and, oh, this betrayal. The only stuff that kind of works in is like a drama, but you need the bad part about this is they're trying to do so much in such a little a little format of television, versus with the movie you can really just and then the show you kind of have to keep it dubbed. The best shows are the ones with kind of the lowest, like they're just talking, chilling, yapping, blah blah blah. There's not enough dramatization. A good over-the-top extreme example of that is, especially in the horror aspect, is American Horror Story. It's just like, oh no you didn't, and oh I did this and that, and oh my lord. That's like, is compared to something like this, that's about as good as it's gonna get. When you're trying to do this very linear story, very already grounded, it's already been done before and better, and it just doesn't really come out the same. I get it in a sense, like, hey, there's been so many movies, let's do a show, something different. It's a big enough franchise where we can get away with doing that, and it's more power to you. Next thing you know, they're gonna do a cartoon if there's not already one out there. Not really cartoon, but like anime, especially with all the like the Asian influence and China, whatever's going on. Yeah. Oh, I want to say Wayland is Yutani. I definitely want to say it's Japanese, but the China thing would kind of weirdly make more sense, I guess, in a way. You can kind of just do anything at this point. Make it work. But, the Meg, for example. I don't know. And it's funny, the only one familiar face is, Timothy. But it's funny because he's like one of those actors where like he's definitely been in movies you've seen or shows or something, but you can't really pinpoint what they were. But you like him as an actor, and he's in so much various things, but small things that don't really have enough impact. I think he was like the only most unknown person here. Which I'm glad they had somebody. And if it was going to be anyone, I'm glad it was him, and he definitely kind of tied everything together. And it's an interesting character choice. I think it's definitely one of his more like I feel like he usually plays like the rugged kind of all-arounder. Like he's there, but he's not there. Literally the only movie I can think of, I know he's in other stuff that's more familiar, but Gone in 60 Seconds, he was like the second in command, the police force or something. He's good at carrying a show. He's good at just guiding it along the way, and that's definitely what he did here. And he stood out so much to the point where he was kind of the center of attention. Like every time he was on screen, you're like, I know who that is, and he makes an entrance, and he's got the look and the sheen. He's aged. He's aged pretty well. He's got that like older, like, hey, I'm older, but I'm getting that star treatment, so I look like I'm 20. I don't know. He's got his hair, dude. Yeah, he definitely... What is the main show he used to be in? It wasn't Casino or Las Vegas or something, was it? I think I'm thinking of somebody else. That might be him. But he's definitely more of like crime drama. I don't know. Kind of those just life stuff. This was interesting because it's almost like he really didn't have to do a whole lot. He just kind of stood there and sat there, and it's funny because he almost seems so old that he just kind of like was just standing around existing. And but the beauty of that is that that was his character, and it worked. They somehow managed to meld stuff together in a way that it actually went pretty well. There was like the main synth guy, the Wayland dude, who I liked his voice. He had a really like deep, like Kylo Ren kind of voice or something. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely some different like aliens and creatures. Something besides the face hugger and the alien, which is kind of nice, but in comparison with the alien, they definitely were just kind of stand-ins. I don't know, the show was so good, but at the same time it was so mediocre and so like kind of average, and it's tough, man. It's definitely worth watching for sure, especially as an alien fan-ish person. But I like it because it's tied to, it has enough movies to where there's so much to work off of, and being related to Predator as well, and it really being kind of its own thing. There's Predator and Alien, and then there's like everything else. There's Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, all that stuff. And if you really wanted to, you could even combine them. And that's why I love this kind of 80s monsterverse. Is like, at first I kind of hated them, but usually what I hate at first because I'm scared of it, because I might like it so much. That's exactly what ended up happening, is because this stuff's really cool. This is as cool as it's gonna get. It's as good as it's gonna get. You can't, you know, you can come up with 1,000 different stories and monsters and creatures. It's not, it's tough, man. It's not easy. Because it's all been somewhat, I don't believe in that too much. Like, oh, it's all been done before, because it hasn't, but these things have a reputation. They go back so many years. It was all very practical and raw and real, and a lot of that still carries over. And when you try to kind of make something out of scratch, the issue with that is what it's time. You're dealing with very modern stuff, and it's either going to come out way too cheaply or way too kind of like trying too hard. So I think a lot of stuff back then, I'll give it some old stuff some credit, which usually I wouldn't, but they found a way to, because especially when you think of horror, you think of like death, you think of like these things rising out of the ground and returning to life, and zombies and coming alive and being born and originating, and that's where a lot of it did start at. And then when you try to do stuff now, it's just kind of, it comes out a little too nice, a little too polished, a little too clean, a little too smooth. There's ways around that, but it's not easy. But that's what could make newer stuff definitely stand out more, sure. I mean, the latest iconic modern anything has been what, Terrifier? If you even want to really include that. I guess It the Clown got a pretty good revival. Other than that, a lot of these things kind of stay more or less the same, huh? Like, you get all these modern reboots and remakes of older stuff, and they come out fine, but nothing really to look back on too much. But I'd say out of everything this has to offer, the only good thing is the special effects are great. The kills, the kill shots, very clean, very modern, but they still kept that kind of grainy film look, like making it kind of look oldish. That filter. I don't know. It was a good mix and blend of old and new and back then and now, and that's what this is always, this movie's, I don't even know anymore, franchise has been so good at doing for so long, is, you know, sci-fi, space horror, which is always going to include like some sort of technological thing. That's just kind of the written rule. So it works well in the ways that it should. I just think out of everything you can compare it to, which is really only the other Alien movies, if not horror movies in general, sci-fi, whatever, it's just kind of... And it depends too, like, hey, what mood are you in? Are you tired? Are you watching it like in the middle of the morning? Are you just trying to watch it and get it over with and get it out of the way and say you did it and watched it? And there was only really one episode that was like, okay, this is good. I like this. It's gonna be so obvious which one it is too. Which is funny. It's another weird point, is like, I'm surprised they put that in there because that really took away from the main show, but it's almost like somehow they knew that the show wasn't good enough to where they kind of had to do that. I'm not sure. And who knows if it was like improvised or last minute, or if that was just the way it was always going to go down, which was probably most likely the case anyway, but it wasn't until pretty later in. I don't know. It's almost like, hey, we're going to start off a little too slow, but really pick it up and then kind of drop it back down again. Which, to be fair, is pretty normal. Usually at the middle of like a movie or something, that's when it gets juicy and interesting, but in this case it almost felt a little too intentional. I don't know. Yeah, it was good. Nothing crazy or anything, but I think it really added on to what Alien has to offer, and I can respect that part of it, but... And once again, it's like, you get this, and you get to go back and watch the older stuff, so it's a win-win. So, there really is no downside, because... And that's the thing with new things, is like, even if it's not as good, just go back to the other stuff, man. Or maybe 5 years from now, you'll appreciate stuff like this more, where it's aged a bit, and because these kind of things, you never know where they'll stop and start, or like they could get cut off at some point, or it might be years until anything new like this comes out at all, and you do gotta kind of respect it as much as you can. So like, I don't want to give it too hard of a time, because it definitely deserves more, but... And, you know, it's tough love. It's like, I know it has potential. I know it can do more. It has done more. And it will continue to do more. What's good about this show, though, is like, hell, you don't even have to go back and necessarily watch the older stuff. Just go back and watch Romulus, dude. That movie was awesome. I keep forgetting there's also Prometheus. Oh, man. Yeah, the Alienverse is pretty expansive by now. The modern stuff is definitely... It is hard to beat that older stuff. Like, I know that sounds very typical, but... One good thing about Romulus, though, was that it was new enough and good enough and written, the story, it was so familiar and so, like... It actually reminded me of, God, I forgot what it was now. Was it Star Wars Visions or something? I don't know, but... I think so. Or some kind of, like, anthology where... they really took that whole wanting to see space and exploration and the curiosity and the wonderment. That's probably what I liked about Romulus the most, other than it. You think of the cover and being all red, and it was just, ooh man, it was good. It kind of, it's that same quality you would have gotten with like the Evil Dead reboot or Friday the 13th reboot, like ones that are actually very just, it was just executed so well. But then you watch this show and it's like, ooh, is it gonna be able to compete with Romulus, let alone everything else? And it's funny because like the show, it's definitely gonna turn some heads. It's gonna grab attention. Like, oh, I heard that was good, and yeah, but people say a lot of things. Like, is it good? It's good if they're biased towards Alien, yeah, but I'm not even like a huge Alien fan. Like, I like everything pretty equally. I don't really have favorites necessarily. But that's why I'm able to kind of see it through a very thin veil, is because it's definitely good and has a lot to offer, but there's better stuff out there. Hell, I would watch this and literally rewatch Romulus. I kind of want to anyway, to be honest. One thing you can do is like watch this and then go to Romulus and just kind of go down that list and rewatch the older stuff again for who knows the 100th time. And there's so much. You can have a marathon, you can binge. It's kind of cool. It's just unfortunate that this show has to be kind of a segue to lean towards the older stuff, but at the same time it's leaning towards the newer-ish stuff that I just think is better. Like, here's the deal at the end of the day. You can either watch a, like, what, 7-8 hour Alien series, or go back and watch like a 2-hour Alien movie, and the 2-hour Alien movie is probably going to be better. I mean, that's just kind of how it is at this point. Especially because naturally series and episodes and shows are just really going to take you out of it, and oh, credits and intros and outros, and it's not the same as watching like The Office or Lost or Grey's Anatomy, or shows that are like actually good and specifically for that type of format. That's why it works as well as it does. And sure, you can say shows can work just as well in a movie sense and vice versa, but it really just depends on what it is. Orange is the New Black, things like that. I mean, you can make any show sound good because of the fact that it's a show and it drags on and it's really a part of your daily routine or like your schedule, and you spend time with it, more time than you would a movie. But you're not sitting down like seatbelts on, strap me in, I'm ready to watch this thing. Even if it's at home, whether it's at the movie theater, you're never really gonna prepare for it the same. It's a very passive, like, kind of just can't wait for this to be over and, you know, move on with my day, back to reality, do whatever. So I gotta give it a hard time just being a show, but to be fair, if it was a movie, it'd probably get like 1 extra brownie point. And hell, that wouldn't have been the worst thing either. If you give us more Alien movies, great. But obviously Romulus especially was so recent that I don't know if that really would have made any sense or not, but and hey, I'm not the one making this stuff. This was all Like, hey, let's do Romulus a year, whatever later, let's do Alien Earth. Because why the hell not? And these things only come up so often, so take what you can get. You know, these are whole projects and years of making and like all these things and planning and doing. So I don't know, people are spoiled and they just want like constantly new stuff, but obviously like that's kind of, if you like enough things, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. But when I think about it in a movie sense, even the Chucky reboot Child's Play a while ago, it was good, but it definitely didn't hold the same. I think if you were to put this in a movie, well, it's not a movie, so there's no point even going there, but I don't know, I think the kid thing, that's what really held it back. It's because of that alone why I think it could have only worked in this way, because it's just not enough. One good thing though is they kept Alien the same, like they didn't make him all weird and crazy and different, and I know they've kind of dipped into that in the past, but making him white and just different forms, and which can be kind of cool. And he definitely does have like different stuff, especially if you think of like DVD and his different cosmetics and whatever like Geiger designs are still out there, and what they could be pulling from that, what they want to use in the films or the shows in this case. I'm glad they kind of just kept him simple and basic and easy and all black. I mean, he's literally like a space ninja. I'm not complaining. But yeah, Alien Earth.
They want their monsters. Here they come.